Let's take a look at three things to watch in the Beltway and beyond. Government shutdown fears are growing yet again as Congress seeks a deal on a funding bill by the end of this week. Joining us now is Kevin Cirilli, Yahoo Finance contributor. Kevin, what can we expect?
Well, they've got to reach a shutdown agreement by October 1st to avoid a government shutdown. Now, expect tomorrow on Tuesday for there to be a procedural vote in the Senate. But Senator Joe Manchin, a key centrist Democrat from West Virginia, is trying to get some permitting reforms lumped into this continuing resolution to keep the government open. Remember back a couple of months ago when he had said that he had negotiated with his party on the Inflation Reduction Act, particularly on this issue. Now, progressives in his party say that these permitting reforms would just dismantle some of the progress that Democrats have made on climate change. Now, other centrists disagree with that argument, and Republicans, while they are much more sympathetic to reducing some of the permitting restrictions in the energy sector, are a little bit wary of giving Senator Manchin a political victory this close to the midterms. Based on the folks that I'm talking with, I can tell you that I do expect the government to reach some sort of short-term deal, say that 5 times fast, to punt into after the midterm election seasons, because these lawmakers want to get back on the campaign trail.
So a busy week domestically, but certainly a lot more on the administration's plate when you look at geopolitical issues. The U.S. signaling a strong deterrent to Russia against its threat to use nuclear weapons. Then you saw Iran seeing tensions flare as protests continue over the death of a woman who was in police custody because of the way she was apparently wearing her hijab. What kind of response have we heard from the White House, certainly making the rounds in the Sunday shows yesterday?
Absolutely. And you've heard very staunch support for the protesters in Iran. And this is where specifically economic policy and sanctions have come to the forefront for Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Remember that this comes at a time in which the Biden administration is renegotiating, really, re-entry potentially into the Iran nuclear disarmament deal. You alluded to what's going on with Russia's war with Ukraine. Clearly, the European Union wants to see some prospects of energy, being able to go into the energy markets with Iran, especially as winter approaches. And they've lost that energy sector because of sanctions that they've levied against Russia for Russia's war with Ukraine. But take a look at what Wadi al-Yemo, he is the Deputy Treasury Secretary, what he said in a statement just a few days ago about lifting some of the internet sanctions in Iran. Quote, as courageous Iranians take to the streets to protest the death of Mahsa Amini, the United States is redoubling its support for the free flow of information to the Iranian people. With these changes, we are helping the Iranian people be better equipped to counter the government's effort to surveil and censor them. This, again, really illustrating how tech diplomacy has gone way beyond just the scope of what traditionally has been the norm in the diplomatic sphere, and the Treasury Department now playing a key role in this geopolitical space as Iran tries to censor their own people from protesting in the streets.
And from Iran to Asia, we're also watching U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris as she visits Asia to attend the memorial for former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Tell us about her trip and particularly surrounding tensions in the regions there.
Well, three things quickly. First and foremost, the United States showing an incredible show of support for the Japanese, and again, just how crucial that relationship is for the United States, especially as it relates to countering authoritarianism. Secondly, in the region. Now, this is the most high-profile visit in recent months for Vice President Harris, and also she becomes one of the highest-ranking officials to visit the region in quite some time. But thirdly, just a couple of days ago, President Biden speaking on CBS News 60 Minutes, specifically about whether or not the United States would defend Taiwan should Chinese Communist Party invade Taiwan, speaking very bluntly that he would do that, but look for Indo-Pacific allies in the region to be asking Vice President Harris specifically about the United States policies as it relates to Taiwan should China continue to move the goalposts from its decades-long policies and continue to threaten the island.
Yeah, a lot to juggle globally. Kevin Cirilli, as always, appreciate your time. Yahoo Finance contributor there.
Thank you.